Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Blaze Black 2. Last time, we made our way here to the midway point of the Chargestone Cave area, and this time we are going to be hopefully finishing it up. Now, really awesome thing, this is the first episode I am recording in the year 2016. But you're like, wait, it's the first episode going up in 2016. Well, I got a little bit lazy, I'll completely admit that. You can't really just go and lock yourself in your room and record on New Year's Eve. You gotta go eat all of the junk food and watch the ball drop in New York City. That's just how you do these things, don't you know? Anyway, I believe this is a new Pokemon we haven't seen yet. This is Ferrothorn, and it falls incredibly quickly to fire-type attacks. Because it is, I believe, the unique typing of grass and steel, which I think is a really, really neat idea. I really like the ideas they can come up with for unique type combinations. Sometimes they really, really work. Anyway, watch it fall. Boom, there it goes. Very nice. Experience for that. And one of the very few trainers we've encountered in the game so far that only has one Pokemon, which is appreciated. So anyway, let's get this gift of a Chesto Berry right here. And I believe that's the only thing I neglected to grab on this floor. Am I correct about this? It looks like I am. So I think we're free to move onwards, which is very good. We have Electrode right here, which we already have, which is awesome. I'm really impressed that very recently we crossed over 1/3 of all Pokemon caught, which is quite awesome, really, and unfortunately the speed difference between Electrode and Gastrodon is making it very difficult for me to run. There we go. Maybe I should give Gastrodon the Cleanse tag, or Smoke Ball, or something like that to hold. Although, does Smoke Ball only last for one battle? I don't actually remember. Here we have Durant, which we had a very fun time attempting to catch last episode. Hopefully this episode I'll be able to get my revenge on Dugtrio, because unfortunately I one-shotted it, which is a little embarrassing. I'm not sure exactly when, but I think we're decently close to getting the False Swipe TM, and when we get it, oh boy, it is going to get a lot of use, because it is probably the best move in the game for people that want to catch Pokemon. And here we have yet another trainer. I love this place. The electricity charges up my inspiration. I like Chargestone Cave visually. It's very blue, very pretty. I just think it's quite frustrating to navigate because there are so many trainers. And for whatever reason, I feel like it's one of those areas that has way more wild encounters than it needs to. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I remember back when XY were not out yet, there was a rumor around that they weren't going to have random encounters in caves. They were instead going to have dark patches that acted like wild grass, which I think would have been amazing, but it turns out that was just a misinterpretation of the mechanic in Glittering Cave with those scripted wild encounters, which I think is really unfortunate. I think if they made it so that there were special areas of caves and water where you could specifically encounter Pokemon, I think that would be much better, much more enjoyable for the series. Kind of like how in underwater areas you have seaweed, which basically acts like tall grass except underwater. I think that's a great, great, great idea, and I think they should adapt that to other areas in the game, like, say, darker patches in caves, instead of just having encounters for the entire area. Make it a lot more enjoyable to navigate areas like this. Get on it, Game Freak. I've been working on the next game for 14 months and it's not been announced yet, so hopefully we're gonna get some good stuff. Alrighty. I'll be honest, I'm legitimately surprised the new game hasn't been announced yet, considering the new forms for Zygarde were announced in full in, I want to say, September. It's kind of crazy. We have been waiting a long darned time for this new game, and I wouldn't mind it as much except for the fact that they've obviously been teasing the contents of this game for months now, and they just haven't announced it yet. We even have the anime. We got 10 episodes into this X, Y, and Z stuff, and there's no Z game to go along with it. It's kind of crazy. I would definitely put money on the game being internally delayed from being released this past fall. Delayed sometime into 2016, considering the weirdness of all this promotion for a game that, as far as we know, doesn't exist. Anyway, we have a fortress coming out here, which means I'm gonna keep in. I misread that as Frothorn, so when you got 700 something Pokemon to keep track of, you're gonna mess things up sometime or another. Now, this thing doesn't have Levitate, does it? It does not. Very good. This thing is a weird type because it's Steel and Bug. Very, very odd typing, and I'm pretty sure it's unique. No, it's not unique. I'm pretty sure Durant is also Steel and Bug. Anyway, I think another Mud Bomb should take this thing out, and it's a good thing I didn't try and switch because this thing is laying out spikes, which is no good. And down it goes. Is this going to give us level 45? Yes, it does. Very good. Alrighty. Okay, now, one thing that's worth mentioning, we are very close to the end of the dungeon, except for the fact that this dungeon actually has an optional lowest floor. You do not have to go to this floor at all over the course of your exploration, but as you might expect, I'm definitely going to be going there because there is stuff for us, which is very good. And of course we can weaken down this new Pokemon here, Ferocid, because it is Steel and it definitely resists anything I can throw at it, because Steel in this game, I want to say, has either 11 or 13 resistances. It's kind of crazy how much stuff this thing resists. Anyway, I think it's weak enough that I feel comfortable to attempt catching it, so let's do that. Very nice. First throw, Ferocid was caught. Slowly but surely, making our progress. It absorbs the iron it finds in the rock while clinging to the ceiling. It shoots spikes when in danger. That clinging to the ceiling thing actually became a mechanic in X and Y, which I think is really neat. They should put more stuff like that in the games. Anyway, right over here, I believe this is a very good item. As you can see, since there's nothing for this rock to attract to when I push on it, it doesn't actually move. Pretty interesting. TM91 Flash Cannon. I want to say that's a special Steel type move. And if we push that there, it'll attract over there, although that really doesn't do anything, it's mostly for effect. If we push that, it attracts up that way, and we have a wild Pokemon. Yet another Durant. I think we're actually running out of Pokemon to catch in this area, which I'm very much happy about, because the more Pokemon we catch now, the less Pokemon we have to catch later. Anyway, can we please run away from this thing? There we go, jeez. Alrighty. Take a quick detour down to this lowest area. Completely optional area, but it's definitely worth exploring. Here I go! Okay. Alrighty. Yet another guitarist. And yet another Ferocid. Alrighty, now I don't think Mud Bomb is super effective on this thing, but it's worth a shot. I'm pretty sure Grass cancels it out. Yes, it does. A little bit unfortunate, but I think one more hit should take it down, even with Ingrain being in play. Yeah. Ferocid, you're going down. Very nice. Magnezone gets level 44, which is super awesome. Magnezone is going to get a lot of use in the upcoming gym. I can definitely tell you guys that. Unfortunately, even though we're probably going to be getting to the next town in this episode, we won't be able to do the gym right away because there's actually a required story event that needs to be done before that. And wow, that thing took Mud Bomb like a champion. That is crazy. Luckily, I have a feeling this thing doesn't have very much to hit me with because I am immune to electric type attacks, which is awesome. And Surf actually did more, which is kind of funny. And down goes yet another trainer, so let's see what we can find down on this floor. Obviously it's not a Dugtrio, because the game likes to get in my way in that regard. Clink we already have, so we're not going to be catching it. Now there is a Pokemon I hope we will happen to run across on this floor, because this Pokemon I am thinking about is very rare. And when I say very rare, I mean very, very, very rare, like a 2% encounter rate. I think the rate is actually higher on this lower level, and we got TM24 Thunderbolt. That is definitely worth coming down here for alone. But yeah, there's a very rare Pokemon in this area, and I believe the encounter rate goes up as you get deeper into the area, so I'm hoping we'll find it. But if not, we're just going to have to come back later, because I really don't have time to seek it out this time, which is a little unfortunate. Anyway, heading down this way, we have another trainer. It is the way of greeting high in the mountains and down in the caves. That's right, we each get out our Pokemon and then we begin. That's the trainer's mantra, you lock eyes, you have to fight. And by lock eyes, they mean if someone sees you, regardless if you don't make eye contact, you're fighting them, because that's just how the game works. Anyway, we have Numel right here, which is going to fall very quickly to Surf here. I don't remember if Numel is ground fire, or if it doesn't gain a dual type until it evolves, but either way, super effective, down it goes, goodbye. Up next is Machamp. Wow. That's pretty serious stuff. I'm going to send out Mandibuzz for this one. I'm not sure if we've actually seen a Machamp in the game yet. We might have. They like throwing lots of fully evolved stuff at us much sooner than it does in the regular games, so we might have seen one of these already, not positive. Anyway, once again, exploiting weaknesses. And if you've been in the know recently, you'll know that there are some very spooky secrets about Machamp, specifically its belt and tights that were posted on the official Pokemon website in Japan. I'm not going to talk about it here, because I think I've talked about it before on this series, plus it's a little bit weird. But yeah, feel free to Google that if you're interested, because it's very strange stuff. Anyway, down goes yet another trainer. Nice to get all this experience. And down here there is an item. But first we have a completely pointless wild encounter. Oh well. Not Pokemon, wrong button, run. I would have been very surprised if we didn't run away from that, because Boldore is incredibly slow. Anyway, down here we have a Metal Coat, which will be very important for evolving certain Pokemon going forward. Assuming we can't catch them in the wild, that is. I'm going to try and catch as many in the wild as I can, because evolving Pokemon is very, very, very tedious when you have to do it en masse. So we're going to try and avoid that as much as we can. Now, where's this hidden item? There it is, Electric Gem. Very good. Now we get to head back around this way, and up the stairs to fight yet another trainer. Wow, another Electrode? I'd think we'd be encountering something a bit rarer down here, considering this is the basement. Oh well, I guess we're just not very lucky. And of course, couldn't get away. Sheesh. That's unfortunate, because Gastrodon is a very good Pokemon to be navigating this area with, because it has type advantages on a lot of things down here. But unfortunately, it's absurdly slow, as you can see, and makes it very frustrating to run away from wild encounters. Sheesh. Now, can we please fight this trainer? There we go. Alright, is this going to be a triple battle? She mentioned trios in her... Oh, it's a rotation battle. That's awesome. I like encountering these unorthodox battles out in the wild, and wowee, she is packing some serious stuff right here. Alright. We have the final of all forms of all of the Unova starter Pokemon, which is pretty cool. I believe this is also our first time seeing Serperior, even though we actually started with Snivy, which is sad, but it had to happen. Alright, what am I gonna do here? See, now, I'm expecting her to switch over to Serperior since Gastrodon is quad weak to Grass-type moves. So I'm gonna take a gamble and used Flame Burst. Wow, out-predicted. Sheesh. With the AI in these games, sometimes I have to wonder, am I being out-predicted, or is the AI just really freaking stupid? Let's see here. You know what, you can't really go wrong with Dragon Pulse coming out of a level 63 Lucario, so let's just do that. I expect this to do a very large portion of its health. Very good. Get lots of experience for that. And now we're down to a bit more manageable roster. Let's see, can I actually get a Flame Burst onto this Serperior? I'd very much appreciate it if we could. Yes, very nice. Rotation battles are interesting for me because they obviously require a large amount of prediction, but at the same time it feels like that there's really no good way to actually predict what your opponent is going to do, because out-prediction can just go only so far. Let's just do Dragon Pulse again. So, like, the battle system for rotation battles is fun, but sometimes it can get frustrating because if the prediction game gets too out of hand, all you're really going to wind up doing is using a bunch of not effective moves repeatedly, which is very frustrating. And I think Aura Sphere might be fun to use in this case. Can never go wrong with Aura Sphere. And we actually got a knockout, which is very, very nice. And that will conclude this battle, I think. Yes, it will. Very nice. Got a lot of money for that. That is appreciated. And up here, I believe there are more items to get. Oh wow, there's actually another trainer. Ooh, that's new. This is Galvantula, the evolved form of Joltik. Yeah, that's what it's called. Really don't want to knock this thing out. I think Hidden Power is safe to use. I don't think that will knock this thing out. Crossing my fingers, because I'm pretty sure this is quite a rare encounter. Oh yeah, we're good. We're more than good. Unfortunately, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to knock out Gastrodon, which is unfortunate. So I think what I'm going to do instead... Man, I cannot talk today. I'm going to bring out Magnezone to wall this thing, and I'm just going to start chucking Pokeballs at it. Alright, will we actually get super lucky here? I really don't think so, but that would be nice. Wow! Not complaining, but that is quite surprising. I have to wonder what the odds on that are. It creates barriers from electrified silk that stun foes. This works as a weapon as well as a defense. The best defense is a good offense, and vice versa. Anyway, let's see if we can fight this guy. Look at me! Look at me! There we go. Now let's see, is this going to be a triple battle to go along with the rotation battle we just did? No, it's not. You can definitely tell because the little circle that Pokemon appear on in triple battles is far larger than the one in single battles, so you can usually tell at a glance. Anyway, we have Rampardos here, which is pure rock type, which means Aura Sphere should bring it down with no trouble, especially since I'm pretty sure this thing is more on the physically defensive side. Yeah, there it goes. And a critical hit for good measure. Up next is Dragonair. Wowee. Gonna stay in for this one because we have Dragon Pulse, which should also be a one-hit knockout. Man, Lucario's awesome. One-hit wonder right here. Another critical hit. That is awesome. Up next is Cloyster. I think I'm going to actually switch for that over to Magnezone. You have an electric-type move, right? Oh wow, you actually don't. I'm probably going to replace Flash with Thunderbolt. Let's do that after this battle. Try not to forget. What are we going to do? You know what? This Cloyster's probably not even very far above 40 if it is at 40, which it's not. So I think Aura Sphere probably going to bring this thing down anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot, Cloyster's part Ice type, which is odd because it doesn't look like an Ice type at all. So yeah, it all worked out at the end. And last up is Cacturne, which I believe is part Dark type, which means we'll be at least normal effective with this move, although I think Grass nullifies the weakness to fighting. Am I correct about that? I'm not. Wow. Happy to be wrong. Very good. Which means we got 4 critical hit knockout, not critical hit, super effective knockouts with this thing. That is awesome. Alrighty. Now, before I forget, we are going to come over here to our TM case, and we want to teach Thunderbolt. What we're probably going to do with Magnezone is we're probably going to be switching Thunderbolt and Flash back and forth whenever we need Flash. That's the great advantage of having infinite use TMs, because you can just switch moves back and forth if you need to have a TM like Flash or Dig. In certain cases you can just teach back. Very nice. Let's get our dowsing machine back out, although I don't think there's anything more on this floor. And here we have a Thunderstone. Very nice. Now I think we're clear to head back up to the top, although I'm going to try and see if we can get a few more wild encounters on the way there. Because, whoa! This is Electric, which is actually rarer than the encounter I was thinking of. I'm pretty sure Electric is like a 1% encounter rate, so I'm just going to take no chances and start chucking balls at this thing. This Pokemon is interesting because it is the only Pokemon as of Generation 6 that has 0 weaknesses, because it is an Electric type with Levitate, and we got it in one throw! Oh my god! That is amazing. Wow, I am getting incredibly lucky here. It has Levitate as its ability and is Electric type, which means it has 0 weaknesses, even with the introduction of the Fairy type, which is awesome. It wraps itself around its prey and paralyzes it with electricity from the round spots on its sides. Then it chomps. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this thing is like a 1 or 2% encounter rate on the bottom floor only. That is awesome. Wow. Now watch it take me like 15 minutes to find the other Pokemon I'm looking for here. If we don't encounter it now, we'll just have to come back and get it. But I am very, very happy that we got Electric with very little trouble, because I was afraid to come down here and hunt for that thing. Anyway, heading right back up here. No more encounters. And right over here we actually have Bianca. Know what? I'm here at Professor Juniper's request. I'm researching a Pokemon called Tynamo. That is the Pokemon I'm actually referring to when I say there's something very rare around here. But there aren't very many, and they don't seem very strong. Something we're definitely going to have to keep in mind. Now, right up here, we are actually on the top floor of the cave again, which is awesome. We're almost done. Got one more trainer here. I want to say this is the last one, but there might actually be another one after this. Not entirely positive on that one. Of course, right here we have Jumpluff, which is probably one of the worst Pokemon out there. It's grass flying, and its stats aren't really all that good. Fun fact about Jumpluff that's really funny, anyone out there that happens to own a copy of Pokemon Coliseum for the GameCube, if you have a Jumpluff on the field, the shadow of its little poofy spores will be squares, which is hilarious. I have no idea what the heck happened with that. You can tell it's not a reflection of a cube, but it's actually the shadows are just squares, because the squares will spin around really quickly but retain a square shape instead of being the shadow cast of a cube, which doesn't necessarily have to be a square. Really odd programming thing. They fixed it in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which came out, I want to say, 2 years later? Might have been 1 year later. But yeah, just really funny, random, interesting trivia. Probably one of the funnier glitches in the Pokemon franchise. Anyway, here we have Yanmega, just gonna blast it with a Dragon Pulse because I can't really think of anything else to do. And actually brought it down, very good. Even more experience, Magnezone gets level 45, which is awesome. Trying to learn Screech, probably gonna skip out on it because Screech isn't all that great. Up next we have Gardevoir, which means I definitely want to switch because I am actually weak to Psychic, being a Lucario. Actually, no, I think Steel might resist Psychic. It probably does, because the reason Steel was introduced in the first place was to be part of a Psychic nerf. So yeah, Steel probably resists Psychic. Anyway, Feint Attack should do it well. Kaboom! Down it goes. Very good. And what's next? Oh wow, that's actually it. Very nice. Now I believe over this way there is this stone. If you push that, it is actually a shortcut out of the dungeon. I don't remember off the top of my head if these stones actually remain in place or not. I would hope that they do. But considering there are some stones that you can actually push incorrectly and therefore get yourself stuck out of certain items, I don't think they actually fit. I mean, not fit, but stay in place when reloading maps. Which is a little unfortunate, but it's something we're going to have to deal with. Mainly it's a shortcut if you're going from Mistralton to Driftvale, but other than that, it's basically useless. And I think this hiker right here is the last trainer in the dungeon, which is good because there are a lot of trainers in here. I think I made a good call splitting this dungeon into 2 parts, because if not, this video would have been like an hour. Or rather, last episode would have been like an hour. Anyway, we have Clang right here, pure Steel type, and as you might imagine, the evolved form of Clink. So, down it goes. Get our experience, and up next is Hariyama. That's an interesting one. Gonna be sending out Mandibuzz again. Really disappointed that Victini doesn't have a better Psychic type move yet. I don't remember if we have the Psychic TM or not. But you can bet pretty much the instant we get it, we're going to be overriding Confusion with Psychic, because Psychic is a far, far better move. Alrighty. Wow, it actually survived that. But it flinched, so we're pretty much good on that regard. Down it goes. Schooled indeed, my good sir. Now what's this item over here? It is a light ball. That is an interesting item, where if you give it to Pikachu, I want to say it doubles its special attack? Attack or defense, something like that. One fun thing about the light ball is if you give it to a Pikachu, really? Is if you give it to a Pikachu and then breed it, the resulting Pichu will know Volt Tackle. That is the only way to get a hold of Volt Tackle as a move, which is very interesting. I want to say either the mother or non-Ditto parent has to be holding the light ball for it to work, though. Anyway, after 2 very long episodes of Chargestone Cave, we are done, guys. We are done. Welcome to Mistralton City. I believe there is a scripted event if we go much further into the city, so I think what I'm going to do is head straight into the Pokemon Center and heal. And we are actually finally out of winter for the time being, which means we're going to have to wait until the next cycle of winter to do some winter-exclusive stuff that we haven't gotten to yet. But I think spring is very, very welcome. Anyhow, right up here, as you can see, we have the resident guy. Anyone who doesn't know who that is, we'll be getting to them in due time, but anyone who does know who that is, I will admit, yes indeed, the order has been switched up a bit for that game mechanic. Anyway, I think now that we have made it all the way through here to Mistralton City, after 2 episodes of exploring in Chargestone Cave, I think we are going to end things off here. So, next time on Pokemon Blaze Black 2, we are going to be exploring Mistralton City a little bit, even though the city itself really isn't all that big. And we are also going to be exploring some of the nearby routes, because we cannot actually challenge the gym yet, but we will get to that in due time. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.